Ezra chapter 4. Resistance weakens the people. When the enemies of Judah and Benjamin heard that the returned exiles were building a temple for Adonai, the God of Israel, they approached Zerubbabel and the leading patriarchs and said to them, "Let us build with you, for like you we seek your God, and have been sacrificing to him since the day of Esarhaddon, king of Assyria, who brought us here." But Zerubbabel, Joshua, and the rest of the prominent patriarchs of Israel said to them, "It is not for you and us to build a house for our God, but we alone will build it for Adonai, the king God of Israel, just as Cyrus, king of Persia, has commanded us." Then the people of the land began discouraging the people of Judah and making them afraid to build. They bribed advisors in order to thwart their plans all the days of King Cyrus in Persia until the reign of Darius, king of Persia. During the reign of Ahasuerus, the beginning of his reign, they wrote an accusation against the inhabitants of Judah and Jerusalem. Also during the days of Artaxerxes, Bishlam, Mithridath, Tabeel, and the rest of his associates wrote to Artaxerxes, king of Persia. The letter was written in Aramaic and translated. Rehum, the commander, and Shimshai, the scribe, wrote a letter concerning Jerusalem to King Artaxerxes as follows. From Rehum, the commander, Shimshai, the scribe, and the rest of their associates, the judges and the officials, the magistrates and governors over the Edokites, the Babylonians, the people of Susa, that is, the Elamites, and the rest of the peoples whom the great and noble Ashur-banipal deported and settled in the city of Samaria, and the rest of the Trans-Euphrates. Now this is a copy of the letter they sent to him. To Artaxerxes the king, from your servants, the men of the Trans-Euphrates. Now let it be known to the king that the Jews who came up to us from you have gone to Jerusalem and are rebuilding the rebellious and the wicked city. They are completing the walls and repairing the foundations. Furthermore, let it be known to the king that if the city is rebuilt and its walls are completed, no more tribute, taxes, or duty will be paid, and the royal revenue will suffer. Now since we eat the salt of the palace, and it is not proper for us to see the king dishonored, we are sending this message to inform the king so that a search may be made in the book of records of your fathers, and you will discover in the records and know that the city is a rebellious city, harmful to kings and provinces, inciting internal revolts from ancient times. That is why this city was destroyed. We are informing the king that if this city is rebuilt and its walls completed, you will no longer have any possession in the Trans-Euphrates. The king sent this reply. To Rehum the commander, Shimshai the scribe, and the rest of their associates who dwell in Samaria and the others in the Trans-Euphrates, Shalom. The letter that you sent to us has been translated and read in my presence. At my order, a search was made, and it was found that this city has from the earliest times revolted against the kings, and that rebellion and the sedition continually occur in it. Mighty kings have ruled over Jerusalem, governing all the Trans-Euphrates, and tributes, taxes, and duties were paid to them. So now issue a decree to stop these men. This city is not to be rebuilt until I issue a decree. Be careful not to be negligent in this matter. Why should damage increase to the detriment of the kings? Then as soon as the copy of the letter from King Artaxerxes was read in the presence of Rehum, Shimshai, the scribe, and their associates, they hurried off to the Jews in Jerusalem, and by force the power compelled them to stop. Thus the work on the house of God in Jerusalem ceased. It remained at a standstill until the second year of the reign of Darius, king of Persia. Ezra chapter 5. Prophets restart the project. Now Haggai the prophet and Zechariah the prophet, the son of Iddo, prophesied to the Jews who were in Judah and Jerusalem in the name of God of Israel, who was over them. Then Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua, son of Jozadak, arose and began to rebuild the house of God in Jerusalem. And the prophets of God were with them, supporting them. At the time, Tattenai, governor of the Trans-Euphrates, Shethar-Bozenai, and their associates came to them and asked them, "Who gave you this authority to build this house and to complete the structure?" They also asked them, "What are the names of the men who are constructing this building?" But the eye of their God was upon the elders of the Jews, and they were not stopped until a report could go to Darius, and a written reply about it would be returned. This is a copy of the letter that Tattenai, governor of the Trans-Euphrates, Shethar-Bozenai, and his colleagues, officials of the Trans-Euphrates, sent to King Darius. The report they sent to him was written as follows. To King Darius, all shalom. Be it known to the king that we went to the province of Judah, to the house of the great God, which is being built with large stones and timber, and is being set in the walls. Now this work is being done diligently, and is succeeding in their hands. Then we questioned those elders, asking them, "Who gave you the authority to build this house and to complete this structure?" This house, we also asked them their names in order to inform you, so that we may write the names of the men who were in charge of them. They responded to us, saying, "We are the servants of the God of heaven and earth, and we were rebuilding the house that was built many years ago. A great king of Israel built and finished it. But because our fathers angered the God of heaven, he gave them into the hand of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon the Chaldean. He destroyed the house and carried the people away to Babylon. However, in the first year of Cyrus, king of Babylon, King Cyrus issued a decree to rebuild the house of God, even the gold and silver utensils of the house of God that Nebuchadnezzar had taken from the temple in Jerusalem and had carried away to the temple in Babylon. King Cyrus took those things from the temple in Babylon and gave them to a man named Sheshbazzar, whom he had appointed governor. Then he said to him, 'Take the vessels and go and deposit them in the temple in Jerusalem, and let the house of God be built in its place.' So this Sheshbazzar came and laid the foundations of the house of God in Jerusalem. From that time until now it has been under construction, yet it is not finished. Now if it pleases the king, let a search be made in the royal archives there in Babylon to see if in fact King Cyrus issued a decree to rebuild the house of God in Jerusalem, and let the king send us his decision about this matter." Ezra chapter 6. Darius endorses rebuilding. King Darius then issued an order, and a search was made in the archives stored in the treasury of Babylon. A scroll was found in the citadel of Ecbatana in the province of Media, and was written on it, Memorandum. In the first year of Cyrus, the king, King Cyrus issued a decree concerning the house of God in Jerusalem. Let the house be rebuilt as a place where sacrifices are offered. Let its foundations be laid. Its height is to be 60 cubits, and its width 60 cubits, with 3 years of large stones and 1 layer of timber. Let the expense be paid from the king's house. Also let the gold and silver vessels of the house of God, which Nebuchadnezzar took from the temple in Jerusalem and brought to Babylon, be restored and brought to the temple in Jerusalem. You shall deposit them in the house of God. Now then, Tattenai, governor of Trans-Euphrates, Shethar-Bozenai, and their colleagues, officials of the Trans-Euphrates, all of you stay away from there. Leave the work of this house of God alone. Let the governor of the Jews and the elders of the Jews rebuild the house of God in its place. Moreover, I hereby issue a decree as to what you are to do for the elders of the Jews to rebuild the house of God. The complete costs are to be paid by these men from the royal treasury for the tribute from Trans-Euphrates, so that they are not hindered. Whatever is needed, young bulls, rams, or lambs for burnt offerings to the God of the heaven, or wheat, salt, wine, and oil, as requested by the Kohanim in Jerusalem, must be given to them without neglect, so that they may offer pleasing sacrifices to the God of heaven and pray for the life of the king and his sons. Furthermore, I decree that if anyone changes this edict, a beam must be pulled out from his house, and let him be lifted up and impaled on it. Because of this, his house will be made a pile of refuse. May God, who makes his name to dwell there, overthrow any king or people who lift his hand to cause such change to destroy the house of God in Jerusalem. I, Darius, have issued a decree. Let it be carried out with diligence. Completion and dedication of the temple. Then Tattenai, the governor of the Trans-Euphrates, Shethar-Bozenai, and their associates diligently carried it out, just as King Darius had sent. So the elders of the Jews continued building and prospering through, and prophesying of Haggai the prophet and Zechariah the son of Iddo. They finished building according to the command of the God of Israel, and according to the decrees of Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes, king of Persia. The temple was completed on the 3rd day of the month of Adar, which was the 6th year of the reign of King Darius. Then the sons of Israel, the Kohanim, the Levites, and the rest of the exiles celebrated the dedication of the house of God with joy. For the dedication of the house of God, they offered 100 bulls, 200 rams, 400 male lambs, and as a sin offering for all of Israel, 12 male goats, corresponding to the number of the tribes of Israel. They appointed the Kohanim in their division and the Levites in their division over the sacrifices, service of God at Jerusalem, as it is written in the book of Moses. The exiles celebrated the Passover on the 14th day of the first month, for everyone of the Kohanim and the Levites had purified themselves, and all of them were ceremonially pure. They slaughtered the Passover lamb for all the exiles and for their fellow Kohanim and for themselves. So those of Bani Israel who had returned from the exile ate it, together with all who had separated themselves from the impurity of the nations. They celebrated the feast of Matzah with joy for 7 days, because Adonai had given them joy and had changed the heart of the king of Assyria toward them, so as to strengthen their hand in the work on the house of God, the God of Israel. Ezra chapter 7. Ezra's return from Babylon. Now after these things, during the reign of Artaxerxes, king of Persia, Ezra, son of Seraiah, son of Azariah, son of Hilkiah, son of Shallum, son of Zadok, son of Ahitub, son of Amariah, son of Azariah, son of Meraioth, son of Rahiah, son of Uzi, son of Buki, son of Abishua, son of Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron, the Kohen Gadol. This Ezra came up from Babylon. He was a scribe skilled in the Torah of Moses, that Adonai, the God of Israel, had given. Then the king granted him everything he requested, because the hand of Adonai his God was upon him. Some of Bani Israel and some of the Kohanim, the Levites and the singers, the gatekeepers, and the sanctuary servants also came up to Jerusalem in the 7th year of King Artaxerxes. He arrived in Jerusalem in the 5th month of the 7th year of the king. He began his aliyah from Babylon on the 1st day of the 1st month, and entered Jerusalem on the 1st day of the 5th month, because the good hand of God was upon him. For Ezra had set his heart to seek the Torah of Adonai, to observe, to teach its statutes and ordinances in Israel. King Artaxerxes' letters to Israel. Now this is a copy of the letter that King Artaxerxes gave to Ezra the Kohen, the scribe, a teacher of matters pertaining to the mitzvah of Adonai and his statutes over Israel, to Ezra the Kohen, a scribe of the law of God of heaven. I have now issued a decree that anyone in my kingdom from the people of Israel, even the Kohanim and Levites, who wish to go up to Jerusalem with you may go. For you are sent to the king and 7 counselors to inquire about Judah and Jerusalem with regard to the law of your God, which is in your hand, and to bring the silver and gold that the king and his counselors have freely given to the God of Israel, whose dwelling is in Jerusalem, together with all the silver and all the gold that you find in the whole province of Babylon, as well as all the freewill offerings of the people and the Kohanim for the house of their God in Jerusalem. Furthermore, with this silver you should be sure to buy bulls, rams, and lambs, along with their grain offerings and their drink offerings, and offer them on the altar of the house of your God in Jerusalem. You may do whatever seems good to you and your brothers with the remaining silver and gold, according to the will of your God. The vessels that are entrusted to you for the service of the house of your God, deliver before the God of Jerusalem. The rest of the needs of the house of your God you may have occasion to supply, you may provide from the royal treasury. I, King Artaxerxes, hereby issue a decree to all the treasurers of the Trans-Euphrates to diligently provide all that Ezra the Kohen, scribe of the law of the God of heaven, may ask of you, up to 100 talents of silver, 100 cores of wheat, 100 baths of wine, 100 baths of oil, and salt without limit, everything which the God of heaven has required. Let it be done with diligence for the house of God in heaven, for why should there be wrath against the realm of the king and his sons? We also notify you that you have no authority to impose tribute, tax, or duty on any of the Kohanim, Levites, singers, gatekeepers, sanctuary servants, or attendants at the house of God. Now you, Ezra, according to the wisdom of your God that is in your hand, appoint judges and magistrates who may administer justice to all the people in the Trans-Euphrates, all who know the law of your God, and you are to teach those who do not know them. Let anyone who does know observe the law of your God and the law of the king be punished with due diligence, whether it is death or banishment, confiscation of goods, or imprisonment. Blessed be Adonai, the God of our fathers, who has put it into the heart of the king to beautify the house of Adonai in Jerusalem this way, and who has extended loving kindness to me before the king and his counselors and to the king's mighty princes. I gained strength as the hand of Adonai my God was upon me, and I gathered leading men from Israel to go up with me. Ezra chapter 8, a holy people and their witness. Now these are the patriarchal leaders and the genealogical records from those who came up with me from Babylon during the reign of King Artaxerxes. From the sons of Phinehas, Gershom. From the sons of Ithamar, Daniel. From the sons of David, Hattush. From the sons of Shechaniah, the sons of Parosh, Zechariah with him were 150 males, were enrolled by genealogy. From the sons of Pahath Moab, Eliahoenai, the sons of Zerahiah, and with him were 200 males enrolled by genealogy. From the sons of Shechaniah, the sons of Jahaziel, with 300 males with him. From the sons of Adin, Abed, the son of Jonathan, and 50 males with him. From the sons of Elam, Jeshaiah, the sons of Athaliah, and 70 males with him. From the sons of Shephatiah, Zebediah, the son of Michael, and 80 males with him. From the sons of Joab, Obadiah, the son of Jehiel, and 128 males with him. From the sons of Shelomith, the sons of Josaphiah, and 160 males with him. From the sons of Bebai, Zechariah, the son of Bebai, and 28 males with him. From the sons of Azgad, Johanan, the son of Hakatan, and 110 males with him. From the sons of Nikam, they came later, but these are the names: Eliphelet, Jael, and Shemaiah, and 60 males with them from the sons of Bigvai, Uthai, and Zakur, and 70 males with him. I assembled them at the river that flows to the word Ahava. We camped there for 3 days, and I observed the people and the Kohanim, but I did not find any Levites there. So I sent for Eleazar, Ariel, Shemaiah, Elnathan, Jarib, Elnathan, Nathan, Zechariah, and Meshullam, who were leaders, and for Joyarib and Elnathan, who were men of learning. I sent them to Edo, the leader, at the place of Casaphia. I put words in their mouth to speak to Edo and his brother, and who were sanctuary servants at Casaphia, in order to bring us ministers for the house of our God. Now, as the good hand of our God was upon us, they brought us to Sherebiah, a man of insight from the sons of Mali, sons of Levi, sons of Israel, along with his sons and his brothers, 18 men. Also Hashabiah, together with Jeshaiah, from the sons of Merari, his brothers and their sons, 20 men. Also from the sanctuary servants whom David and his officials had given for the work of the Levites, 220 sanctuary servants, all of them designated by name. Then I proclaimed a fast there at the Ahava River, so that we might humble ourselves before God and seek from him a straight way for us, for our little ones and all of our possessions. For I was ashamed to ask the king for soldiers and cavalry to protect us from the enemy along the way, because we had spoken to the king, saying, the gracious hand of our God is upon everyone who seeks him, but his great anger is against everyone who forsakes him. So we fasted and sought our God about this, and he responded to our plea. Then I set apart 12 of the leading Kohanim, Sherebiah, Hashabiah, and with them 10 of their brothers, and I weighed out for them the silver, the gold, and the utensils, the contribution to the house of God, that the king, his counselors, his officials, and all Israel who were present had offered. Specifically, I weighed into their hands 650 talents of silver, silver utensils worth 100 talents, 100 talents of gold, 20 golden bowls, vowed at 1,000 derricks, and 2 exquisite vessels of gleaming bronze, as precious as gold. Then I said to them, you are holy to Adonai, and the vessels are holy. The silver and the gold are as a freewill offering to Adonai, the God of your fathers. Guard them carefully until you weigh them before the leading Kohanim and the Levites and the leading patriarchs of Israel and Jerusalem, in the storerooms of the house of Adonai. So the Kohanim and the Levites received the silver, the gold, and the vessels by weight to bring them to Jerusalem, to the house of our God. And then we set out from the Ahava River on the 12th day of the first month to go up to Jerusalem. The hand of our God was upon the enemy, and from ambush along the way. So we came to Jerusalem and remained there for 3 days. On the 4th day, the silver in the house of our God. The 4th day, the silver, the gold, and the utensils were weighed out in the house of our God into the hand of Meremoth, the son of Uriah the Kohen. Eleazar, the son of Phinehas was with him, and so were the Levites, Jozabad the son of Jeshua, and Noadiah the son of Benui. Everything was accounted for by number and weighed. The total weight was recorded at that time. Then the exiles returning from captivity sacrificed burnt offerings to the God of Israel, 12 bulls for all Israel, 96 rams, 77 lambs, and as a sin offering 12 male goats. All of this was a burnt offering to Adonai. Then they delivered the decrees of the king to the king's Persian governors and to the governors of the Trans-Euphrates, who then gave help to the people and to the house of God. Ezra chapter 9, interceding for the unfaithful remnant. Now when these things had been completed, the leaders approached me, saying, the people of Israel, the Kohanim and the Levites, have not separated themselves from the peoples of the lands who practice detestable things like the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, and the Egyptians and the Amorites, for they have taken some of their daughters as wives for themselves and for their sons, and have mingled with the holy seed with the people of the lands. Indeed, the hand of the leaders and the officials have been at the forefront of this unfaithful act. When I heard this report, I tore my garment and my robe and pulled out some of the hair from my head and from my beard. Then I sat down devastated. Everyone who trembled at the words of the God of Israel gathered themselves around me because of the unfaithful act of the exiles. Devastated, I sat there until the evening offering. At that time, the evening offering, I rose up from my self-abasement with my garment and robe torn. Then I bowed down on my knees and spread out my hands to Adonai, my God. I prayed, oh my God, I am ashamed and humiliated to lift up my face to you, my God, for our iniquities are higher than our heads, and our guilt has reached the heavens. From the days of our fathers to this day, our guilt has been great because of our iniquities. We, our kings, and our Kohanim have been subjected to the sword, to captivity, to plunder, to humiliation, to the land, hand of the kings of the lands as it is today. But now for a brief moment Adonai our God has shown us favor in leaving us a remnant and giving us a peg in his holy place. Thus our God has enlightened our eyes and has given us a little relief in our bondage. Though we are slaves, our God has not forsaken us in our bondage. He has extended loving kindness to us in the sight of the kings of Persia, reviving us in order to restore the house of our God, to raise up its ruins, and to give us a wall in Judah and in Jerusalem. So now, our God, what should we say after this? For we have forsaken your mitzvah that you commanded through your servants the prophets, saying, the land that you are entering to possess is the land defiled by the impurities of the people of the lands. Through their abominations they have filled it from one end to the other with their uncleanness. Therefore do not give your daughters to their sons, nor take their daughters for your sons. Do not seek their shalom or their welfare, so that you may be strong. Eat the good things of the land, and leave it as an inheritance for your children forever. After everything that has happened to us because of our evil deeds, and our great guilt for you, our God, have punished us less than our iniquities deserve, and given us a remnant such as this. Shall we once again break your mitzvah and intermarry with the peoples who commit such detestable actions are these? Why would you not be angry enough with us to destroy us, leaving us no remnant or survivor? Adonai, God of Israel, you are righteous, for we are left this day as a remnant. Behold, here we are before you in our guilt. Because of it, no one can stand before you. Ezra chapter 10, putting away pagan wives. While Ezra was praying and confessing and weeping and prostrating himself before the house of God, a very large assembly of the Israelites, men, women, and children, gathered around him. The people also wept very bitterly. Then Shechaniah, son of Jehiel, one of the sons of Elam, answered and said to Ezra, we have been unfaithful to our God and have married foreign women from the peoples of the land, but in spite of this, there is still hope for Israel. So now let us make a covenant with our God to send away all these women and their offspring in accordance with the counselors of my Lord and those who fear the commands of our God. Let it be done according to our God. Let it be done according to the Torah. Arise, for this matter concerns you. We are with you. Be strong and do it. So Ezra rose up and made the leading Kohanim, the Levites, and all Israel take an oath to do according to this word, and took an oath according to this word, and they took an oath. Then Ezra got up from before the house of God and went to the room of Jehohanan, son of Eliashib. While he was there, he ate no bread and drank no water, because he continued to mourn over the unfaithfulness of the exiles. Proclamation was then circulated throughout Judah and Jerusalem for all of the exiles to assemble in Jerusalem. Everyone who did not come within 3 days would forfeit all his property according to the counsel of the officials of the elders, and would himself be excluded from the assembly of the exiles. So within 3 days, all the men of Judah and Benjamin assembled in Jerusalem. On the 20th day of the 9th month, all the people were sitting in the plaza before the house of God, trembling because of this matter and because of the rain. Then Ezra the Kohen stood up and said to them, you have been unfaithful and taken foreign wives, increasing the guilt of Israel. So now give praise to Adonai, the God of your fathers, and do his will. Separate yourselves from the peoples of the land and from your foreign wives. The entire assembly answered and said with a loud voice, yes, we will do just as you have said. However, there are many people here, and it is the rainy season, and we are not able to stand outside. Besides, this task cannot be resolved in 1 or 2 days, for we have transgressed greatly in this matter. Let our leaders stand for the whole assembly. Let everyone in our city who is married, foreign woman, come at an appointed time, and with them the elders of each city and its judges, until the burning wrath of our God is turned back from us in this matter. Only Jonathan, son of Asahel, and Jahaziah, son of Tikva, stood against this, supported by Meshullam and Shabbatai the Levite. So the exiles did as proposed. Ezra the Kohen set apart men who were patriarchal leaders by their fathers' households, each designated by name. So they sat down on the first day of the 10th month to consider the matter, and they were finished dealing with all the men who had married foreign women on the first day of the month. Among the sons of the Kohanim, it was found that the following had married foreign women: the sons of Jeshua, son of Jozadak, and his brothers, Mahiseiah, Eleazar, Jodib, and Gedaliah. They all have their hands in their pledge to put away their wives, and for their guilt they offered a ram for the flock as a guilt offering. Also from the sons of Emed, Hanani, and Zebediah. From the sons of Hanim, Maaseiah, Elijah, Shemaiah, Jehiel, and Uzziah. From the sons of Pashur, Elionai, Maaseiah, Ishmael, Nethanel, Jozabad, and Elisah. From the Levites, Jozabad, Shimei, Kileah, he is Kelita, Pethahiah, Judah, and Eleazar. From the singers, Elishib. From the gatekeepers, Shalom, Telem, and Uri. Also from Israel. From the sons of Perosh, Ramiah, Isaiah, Malchijah, Mijamin, Eleazar, Malchijah, and Benaiah. From the sons of Elam, Mattaniah, Zechariah, Jehiel, Abdi, Jeremoth, and Elijah. From the sons of Zattu, Elionai, Elishib, Mattaniah, Jeremoth, Zabad, and Aziza. From the sons of Bebai, Jehohanan, Hananiah, Zabai, and Athai. From the sons of Bani, Meshullam, Maluch, Adhiah, Jashub, Shael, and Ramath. From the sons of Pahath Moab, Adna, Chelel, Benaiah, Maaseiah, Mattaniah, Bezalel, Binui, and Manasseh. From the sons of Hadim, Eleazar, Ishijah, Malchijah, Shemaiah, Shimeon, Benjamin, Maluch, and Shemariah. From the sons of Hashum, Mattaniah, Mattatha, Zabad, Eliphalet, Jeremiah, Manasseh, and Shimei. From the sons of Bani, Maadai, Amram, Uel, Benaiah, Bedeah, Cheluhu, Vanaiah, Meremoth, Eliashib, Mattanai, Jaasai, Bani, Binui, Shimei, Shelemiah, Nathan, Adiah, Machnedebai, Shashai, Shariah, Asarel, Shelemiah, Shemariah, Shalom, Amariah, and Joseph. From the sons of Nebo, Jaelel, Mattaniah, Zabad, Zebina, Jadai, Joel, Benaiah. All these had taken foreign women, and some of them had children by these wives.